Hey everybody, this is Brian from PNB Homesteading, and today we're going to be assembling the new lettuce vegetable grow tent that I'm going to be putting together. So I've got all my pieces here that I kind of wanted to put a video together of me assembling this new tent. Like, you know, I have the big tent back over here you guys have seen in the other videos, and I've got the little salad bar LED. Well, the salad bar LED is going to be disassembled for basically the purposes of growing lettuce, and it's going to be this new 5-shelf. I'll be able to use 4 of the shelves down, but this one here is going to be basically hitting up at the top of the tent, which is fine because I'm going to be using that as LED supports. So underneath each of these I'm going to have LED lights that are going to be mounted up here, and I'm not worried about spacing and anything like that because it's just going to be vegetable greens like lettuce and, you know, sprouts and kales that'll only be getting up about that tall, so it's not going to be getting any kind of a burn on them or anything like that. And by the time they get high enough, we're going to be harvesting them out, taking the trays out, and, you know, bringing in the new ones. So the salad bar LED over here, which is currently, you know, where we grow our lettuce in the wintertime, is going to be for sprouting. So we're going to sprout everything over there with a light and heat mats, and then once they sprout, we'll be bringing them in here, put them in this tent, growing them up, harvest, and then taking them out, dumping them out on the compost heap out back for the garden boxes next spring, and then just kind of keeping the cycle going. So I just wanted to kind of go with you guys today and work through, you know, I'm probably gonna have to take this top piece of this shelf off to fit it in the tent when I get the tent assembled. I mean, I've got the tent right here, it's in this box. I've got heat mats I'm gonna be keeping underneath them for when the lights are off. That way it'll keep the roots warm for the plants. I've got a little circulation fan here I'm gonna be mounting inside. And I'm gonna be taking 2 of the 300 watt lights that I have in the big grow tent and putting them inside of here as well as auxiliary lights. And I'll mount those hanging downward by the door, so that way there'll be one kind of facing this way, shining back in there, besides the lights on top here, because I'm going to be putting 3 10-inch by 20-inch flats on each of these shelves. So I don't know if the 2 120 watt lights, I believe they're 120s. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. If you look in the show more notes, I have a listing of everything that I'm using in all of my tents. All the lights, all of the spray nozzles, all of the timers, and everything I use on the wall over here. I have lists of everything that I'm using, so that way if you guys wanted to go and check it out, I put Amazon links inside of there. And just as a note, they are Amazon affiliate links, so if you do happen to purchase anything, it will actually give me a little bit of a percentage of that sale, so I can fund the grow operations that I do in my house. So I thought, what a better way to help. I don't want to sit and have to, beg for money, and I'm not making any money off of YouTube these videos. So I mean, I figured, if a little bit of money comes in, I can add some new features, and I maybe even add a new grow tent. Who knows? But I just want to always be clear and concise if I'm ever going to try and make anything off of this, that I inform my watchers that they understand that. So you don't feel like I'm trying to rip you off and you put bad comments and say, oh, you're just trying to scam us and all this stuff. No, that's not what I do. I'm just here to inform and educate of what I'm doing to grow healthy vegetables under my house for when the wintertime comes and you can't grow outside. So that's pretty much all I'm doing here. But so I'm going to go ahead and probably shut the video off now, and I'll check back in once I get the tent up and I've got the shelf inside, so that way you guys can kind of see the progress of how everything's going to go today, and it should be pretty fun. All right, I'll check back with you guys. Bye. Hey everybody, this is Brian from PNB Homesteading, and I wanted to give a kind of end of day update. It's about 6 o'clock. Started putting this together a couple of hours ago, and this is the resulting product of the new grow tent. It's a little bit shorter than I anticipated. I thought 72-inch tall was going to be the same height as I am, but I don't know if that's an inside or like a box dimension or whatever it is. But I mean, you can tell I'm 6 feet, and I'm a little bit taller than this tent. It seems to be very well-made construction. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed about with this tent is the opening. I've noticed that like on my other grow tents, they have a kind of a zipper that goes all the way to the side and kind of a vertical. I thought this was going to be more of a zipper that went kind of like this, a little wider. It does restrict access to this top shelf a little bit, but I guess I can work around that. I may only end up putting 2 flats of microgreens and stuff in there. But the other ones I've got pretty good access, and we should be able to slide in and out the 10 by 20 inch trays to do our cuttings and everything. I am going to have to set up some kind of a table out here to where it actually gives us an area where we can do our cuttings. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I've got the LEDs up inside. I've also put some heat mats that I've got here. I've got some 3 foot by 20 inch heat mats. They hang over a little bit. I mean, they're a little longer than 3 feet. I actually think they're more like a 48 inch by 20 inch. I was using those inside the big grow tent here underneath the grow pots for the tomato plants, but I've moved them into here because I want to do some germination inside of here, as well as just growing up the lettuce greens. So I've also put underneath here, to protect the LED lights that are hanging underneath these shelves, I've put plastic, and I've sealed the plastic with some duct tape along the edges, so that way if there's any kind of water overflow or anything, it's just going to run over the edges and it's not going to get into the lights and the electrical system. And as a final thing, to protect the electrical back there, just in case when you're watering you accidentally spray something, I'm actually going to put some plastic sheeting along all the wall going down the back of the shelf to protect the electrical connectors and everything, so that way in case any water gets back there, it's not going to short anything out. That's one thing, you just don't want to have a fire, I mean, under your house especially. that'd be a bad thing. But let me go ahead and plug this in. You guys can actually see how bright it is. I think it'll do pretty well for growing the greens underneath here for our lettuce and our kales this winter. So I'll get the plug here. As you can see, it's pretty bright. I mean, you can see the reflection of the LEDs up there. I mean, it should be a pretty good growing area. And it doesn't seem to. I tested this out for about 10 minutes with the door closed. It doesn't seem like it gets very warm with these LEDs in it, because these aren't a real hot running LED, because they don't have fans or anything on the actual boards like the 300 watters that I've got running inside the grow tent behind me here. But I mean, these are like 120. Each one of these is at 120. I've got one here, one there. Each one has that, and then down on the very bottom I have a blue LED, which are only 18 watters. So I'm going to put just like some really, I actually may put some sprouts down in there, because they won't need that much light at all, and then that should be enough to where I can have some, I don't know, bean sprouts, that type of thing growing down in there. But I should have pretty good growing area now, because last year we would eat through the lettuce on the salad bar LED that I've got back over here. We would eat through the lettuce, and then I'd have to wait for our next batch to germinate and grow, because once you harvest it, then what am I going to do? I used to have to try to stack it up in here in the grow tent. Then it would make it hard to get to the tomato plants, and then that's how come the tomato plants, as you saw in a more recent video, they were pretty overgrown, and I had to pretty much just get in there and decimate cutouts. There was dead limbs and stuff in there, because the one plant's over a year old. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this tent. Seems pretty well made, pretty solid. I'm going to put in, I do have some stuff I still need to finish. I didn't put in a water system into this yet, because I don't know if I want to put a water system into this tent. I mean, I got the wand here that I can just grab the water wand, and I can just come in here and I can just kind of water it up. Should be enough. But I may play with putting in some kind of a sprinkler system like I have inside the big grow tent here. But it should be okay. I could always repurpose the extra solenoid valve there and put it outside, and then put something in maybe for the raised garden beds I've got up on our deck. But yeah, I'm pretty happy so far. I still got to plug in the heating system, because I'm basically going to wait on that until I actually get some starts in here, because I'm not going to start putting anything inside this tent for about a week, because Paul and I will be attending the Mother Earth News Fair down in Albany, Oregon, coming up this weekend, and I don't want to leave this unattended with new seedlings in here and trying to start that out with being gone for a couple of days. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It seems to be it's gonna be a fun little tent to play with this winter, growing my greens, so that we can feed Paula and myself, and the little pugs, they'll be chomping on that food too. Gotta keep them healthy with that healthy kale. That's probably why our older lab is still kicking along, and he's going to be 15 this year, and no sign of slowing down from that old guy. All right, well, this has been Brian from pnbhomesteading.com, and I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll come follow along with the adventures of my grow tents. All right, bye guys.